Hello everyone, my name's Indy, Indira, and welcome back to my universe. Please come in and make yourself at home. Well, how are all of you doing? I would love to hear in the comment section about how the supermoon in Aquarius affected you this last Friday. So would love to get your feedback. My experience was very intense. My husband has his moon in Aquarius, so it was definitely an interesting time. But overall, definitely a time for growth. And that's really what this life is about. It's about learning, growing, hopefully not repeating the same mistakes that we have done in the past. But hey, let's be patient with each other, with ourselves, and especially during this time of great change, great upheaval, from politics to economy to maybe even starting to be honest with yourself as far as where do you really want to live? What do you really want to do for a living? How do you really want to spend your time creating, dating, etc.? So anyway, moving on. I wanted to introduce a really fun little concept of, every single pop star or even YouTube personality, they tend to eventually name their tribe. They have a name for their followers, and I absolutely have put some thought into this, and I know exactly what I would love all my followers, subscribers to be called. And I am going to call you and address you as little gods or little G's. I definitely grew up with pop, hip hop, some rap. I'm a child of the 90s for sure and early 2000s. And so I love all the littles in rap culture, hip hop culture. So Lil Wayne, Lil Bow Wow. So I love the concept of the littles. So I'm gonna call all of you little G's, representing little gods. Now, some of you are big gods, and I see you, it's all good, I recognize. But for the sake of having a fun little moniker for the people that subscribe, I think little G's would be fun. Now, why am I calling you all little gods? Well, because you are a god, point blank, period. You are. You are a creator god at that. And there have been a lot of misconceptions, a lot of deviation from really who you are, your true essence. If we think about the analogy of a mother and a father coming together to create a child, their child, really that's the same analogy for God, prime source, prime creator, same concept. All of our souls are little pieces of God's essence, of God's being, of prime creator's being. And so our souls, I like to visualize them as shavings of beautiful solid gold, shaved off of a large brick of gold, the brick of gold being God itself. So just because the shavings of gold are not a large brick of gold does not make that shaving any less of 100% gold. So I really encourage all of you to kind of think about, how do you view yourself? Do you view yourself as a creator God? Do you view yourself as a piece of prime creator, source, etc.? Many of you view God as a male and as a father figure, and that is beautiful too. Some of you view it as a female and a mother goddess. That's beautiful too. All is welcome, because the reality is God is everything. and that includes us. So I really encourage all of you to really start feeling the fact that I am a piece of God. I always have been, I always will be, no matter what I do, no matter what I say. Yeah, so little G's, I'm excited to be here to talk about the constellation Ophiuchus, quite possibly the 13th sign of astrology. I'll break that down, and we're going to talk about mirror work. So both topics I think really fun, and let's get right into the constellation Ophiuchus. So I am going to link a couple of websites in the description box to corroborate and if you want further information regarding these topics. So one of my sources is a website called Skyview, and it was really great to get kind of the bigger picture of the confusion sometimes that happens regarding, is there a 13th sign of astrology? The short answer, no, there isn't, because Ophiuchus is a constellation. Now, potentially what the 13th sign could be is actually the serpent bearer or wrangler, as you will see in an image pretty quickly. But it's a man who is holding a very large serpent. So that is, in essence, what Ophiuchus is supposed to be representing constellation-wise as far as imagery. You can view Ophiuchus at the end of July and the beginning of August. So this is a perfect time to maybe look into Ophiuchus and see if you can spot it in the night sky. Or put it out there in social media if other people around the world have noticed this constellation. As far as the concept of astrology, I wanted to give you all a quick little history rundown of the origin of the modern day, more standard Western, it's called tropic astrology. So astrology and astronomy were inseparable in the ancient times. It originated in Mesopotamia, the 3rd millennium BC. It spread to India, who, by the way, they've created their own Vedic astrology, and I'll definitely bring that more information on Vedic astrology in another video. And it was developed, however, in the Western form during the Greek civilization, in particular the Hellenistic period. Hellenistic period should ring a little familiar to some of you because it is connected to Alexander the Great, as in the great conqueror, / apparently he was a Cancer, which is interesting, the crab. Yeah, so I will absolutely give you my 2 cents and my personal experience of every single astrological sign and the people I've encountered. So yeah, Alexander the Great. But moving on from that, the Western or tropical zodiac has a span of 30 degrees in the sky, representing 30 days. If any of you have ever been super curious, why is every single astrological sign cut up perfectly in 30-day increments? It's because of the system that was created within astrology, that 30 degrees or chunks of sky represent the 30 days. So remember, this is all about how the sun, the actual sun, our beautiful big star, hangs out in front of the constellation. So let's say the constellation of Taurus, the constellation of Scorpius, the constellation of Aquarius. So the initial idea is that the physical sun is in front of that constellation in the night sky. And in the current astrology system that we have, the tropic astrology, the claim is that the sun is in front of it for 30 days. However, this is where the controversy starts. The reality is that the sun is not in front of every single constellation for 30 days. In regards to Ophiuchus, for example, Ophiuchus, it is in front of, the sun is in front of Ophiuchus, ranging from November 30th to December 18th. And that's where things get a little sticky. I am absolutely on this channel going to pursue the literal structure or formula that was created back in Mesopotamia, which would imply that people born between November 30th and December 18th technically would be a serpent bearer. Yeah, it gets interesting. We'll definitely get into all the history, of course, about it. But it's just kind of one of those food for thought. For example, the sun is actually only in front of Scorpius, which is where the astrological sign Scorpio is derived from. So the sun is only in front of Scorpius for about a week and a half. And that would be at the end of October. So end of October and just a few days into November. So, and then, for example, Virgo, the constellation of Virgo, the sun is in front of Virgo for about 6 weeks. So that really changes things up. So I will absolutely delve more into that in the future, but just wanted to give you a little teaser slash appetizer and really just address this 13th sign of astrology. So I wanted to explain to you what the Greek lore was regarding the name Ophiuchus, who is Ophiuchus, because as I mentioned before, he is a physical man that they're figuring, that's what the constellation looks like, but he's wrangling or holding a large serpent. So Ophiuchus is a physician. His name was Asclepius. So Asclepius concocted a healing potion from serpent's venom, herbs, and gorgon's blood, created to give immortality to humans. Oh, a lot to unpack there. What is missing in, let's just say, the US, probably other countries and their cultures, civilizations, is the concept of magic with a K. So magic, potions, spells, all of that has always existed in humanity's experience. It's something to explain science. It's something to explain natural occurrences, cycles. It's something to use as a tool. For as a human, you may not feel very powerful, but you actually can be quite powerful if you use different tools. You know, that's what a huge part of a lot of the occult is really into. They're into using dark magic, is one way you can view it, but magic nonetheless. A lot of, I know for a fact, Hispanic, Latin cultures, Mexican cultures in particular, because I can speak regarding that, they actively believe in magic. They absolutely include witch doctors, and they seek out curanderas, etc. You know, shamans for a long time were considered magical prophets, channels of the divine, God, the universe. So there's a lot of crossover in regards to using, for example, herbs for potions, even blood for potions. And a lot of it has been stigmatized as a negative thing, you know, that it's witchcraft, which means the devil, Satan, Lucifer, you know, demons, etc. And that's what's become a little bit of a shame, is that we're not really understanding the true essence of what magic is and what the whole concept around it, using it as a tool to maybe help yourself, your health, your life, etc. So definitely more videos regarding magic, the concept of potions, spells, etc. will be in the future. But just to return back to really the concept of what Asclepius did, which was use snake venom and herbs and Gorgon's blood to create an immortality spell. Immortality is something that I think a lot of, stories, tales, humans, the Fountain of Youth. There's even, the great Pirates of the Caribbean, one of the movies, was starring Johnny Depp and a lot of other great actors, reference trying to look for the Portuguese conquistador explorers, Ponce de Leon and other people, their quest for the Fountain of Youth. So this whole concept of potions for immortality is nothing new, and it dates back even as far as the Hellenistic period and before that, but it's just fascinating that there is still this, obsession with not dying. And I am here to tell you that the death program and the aging program are exactly that. They are outdated computer programs. They are programs that were imposed by ... We will absolutely get into that in another video. But if you view our universe as a hologram, if you view this universe as a massive computer program simulation, hence The Sims, that very popular computer, world, Sims, simulation, right? It's all the same. So if you view this life as a simulation and a computer program and a video game, however you want to view it, virtual reality, etc., then you can understand that aging and death are just a part of the program, of the video game, of the hologram universe. So a lot of heavy topics for sure. I will absolutely get into those topics further in future videos, but just food for thought, really kind of gnaw on that. If aging is a program, if death is a program, and Asclepius, even though it may just be a Greek myth, lore, he used Gorgon's blood, herbs, and snake venom to create a potion for immortality for humans. There may be a lot of metaphors there for us. Okay. So I am actually going to move on to mirror work. Mirror work is something that my spiritual teacher, life coach, turned me on and really taught me and helped me to explore that tool. And really, it's a wonderful tool of self-love, forgiveness, and being able to have an honest moment with ourselves. I am going to reference another website in the description box that takes you to a website called wellandgood.com. And this particular article was written by Jessica Estrada, and it was posted the 30th of December of 2019. What a perfect timing, by the way, right? Here we go with the number 19. I've brought this up before, but interesting that 2019 was the last quote unquote normal year of our life before COVID blew up a lot of structures, people's lives, just their experience, travel, how they buy their groceries, etc. So it really ended up being a massive change for the world that I think all of us are still feeling. I know I am to this day as far as the consequences. So this was posted in 2019. And I'm just going to read a few excerpts from the article that Jessica Estrada wrote, but it will also be linked, the full article, in the description box. So regarding mirror work, research of neural activity supports the hypothesis that speaking positive affirmations can have a positive effect on self-perception. Theories rooted in psychology and neuroscience also point to mirrors adding in self-development, shifting the way you see yourself and grounding you into your body. Now, it's so important, first of all, to ground. Overall, a lot of us are absolutely floating just all the time. Think about adrenaline, which is connected to stress. Think about being a doer, being proactive, from physically working out, from physically running around, doing chores, going to work, taking care of a child, going to school. Everything we do, it's very active oriented. It's go, 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 do, do, do. And that is a very frantic energy at times. It can be a very stressful energy. So your adrenals are pumping out that adrenaline to keep you going. Then we engage the lizard brain, which is, I guess, an official term describing part of our frontal cortex of our brain. And that is all about survival. Fight or flight, go, 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 do, 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 or else you're not going to be able to feed yourself, etc., your family. So when we are constantly feeling anxious, for example, when we are depressed, we are not in our bodies. We are somewhere else, but we're not in our bodies. And so it's so important to ground yourself every single day. A speaker on an interview that I listened to on YouTube channel, they encourage you to ground yourself, even as simple as rubbing your ears. Really just giving yourself an ear massage. It kind of really connects your hands to your ears, that, by the way, has a lot of energy points, similar to your hand, similar to your feet. The concept of reflexology, of acupuncture, acupressure, all of that. It's the same concept of having energetic meridians, etc., in your ears. So your whole body is practically mapped out in your ears, just like on your hands, just like on your feet. So it's really a fun and relaxing way to ground yourself. But another way to ground yourself, eating root foods. So potatoes, carrots, even though they are very heavy in starches, which can convert into sugar, I totally understand, there is still a complete connection to the actual earth, meaning they were underground. That's where they're being developed. That's where they're being grown. So all root vegetables, eating those is one way to ground yourself. A lot of people may or may not know this, but red meat is very grounding. So if you are open to eating red meat, you enjoy eating red meat, and you feel like you're kind of just high on just all the responsibilities you have, really just feeling very anxious, believe it or not, eating red meat can help you. If you're not into eating red meat, another way is to wear very grounding colors. So think earth tones, your greens, your browns, even your reds. Reds are connected to your root chakra. And that very much is a grounding concept of safety, security, having your basic needs like food and shelter met. So wearing grounding colors, using grounding elements, stones, from obsidian to jasper, that are very much, they're all earth tones, black, brown, green, very much into earth tones. So wear the earth tones. Wear, hold a jasper stone, a green jasper stone, or have your smoky quartz handy in your pocket, in your purse, however you'd like to do it, but absolutely ground. So interesting that in this article, Jessica Estrada references that mirror work is also very grounding. And that is one thing that I was taught by my spiritual teacher. I can start the day off saying some positive affirmations in the mirror. And one example and I guess idea that we can take with our mirror work is to have a real honest conversation. If you want to start off with, I love you so much, I love you, I forgive you, I forgive you, I am here for you, I am here for you, I am absolutely here for you. And you can go into specific affirmations. If you are worried about motherhood, if you're worried about your career, if you're worried about how you're going to show up in a certain relationship, however and whatever that you're working on for that day, for that week, that month. And that's something I encourage all of you to do. Really focus on a theme. Pick the one aspect of your life that maybe you're not thriving. You're a little, struggling, having to need to focus on so that it can improve. And something that you really, really care about to improve. If you're very comfortable with your weight, don't focus on, hey, today I'm going to get up and I am going to tackle the day with a lot of exercise to start things off and feeling motivated and energized to exercise. If that's not your priority, you don't want to lose weight or quote unquote get healthier, then don't use that affirmation or that self-talk in the mirror to start your day off. Start your day off doing mirror work with a topic, a theme that you really, really care about and you really need to work on. And it's going to affect maybe that day and what you're going to do that day. So just a few pointers. But if you want to just keep it very simple, some positive talk. When you look in the mirror, tell yourself, you're beautiful. I love you. I forgive you. You're awesome. You are a perfect piece of art in progress. I absolutely do mirror work. I always cry. I cry easily, but that is absolutely something that I enjoy doing. I enjoy having conversations with myself, by myself. And it is something that has really healed. It's healed some wounds for me. So I hope that this helps you. And I'm going to leave off with a little bit of eye gazing because I love you all, little G's. I love you. 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 I love all of you. The shadow side, the bright side, the dull side. I love you. 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 Till next time. Bye.